Analyzing character traits. This lesson will be taken from the standards analyzing how and why individuals, events, or ideas develop and interact over the course of a text. Let's review some vocabulary. Narration is when the narrator is speaking. The narrator is the one telling the story. The character are the people in the story, and the dialogue is when the characters are speaking. Direct characterization is when the narrator explicitly describes the character. And to be explicit means to clearly state. Indirect characterizations is when a character's traits are revealed through their actions. And this is done by being implicit, which means it's not clearly stated, it is simply implied. The role of the narrator. First, let's look at the story. The story composes the characters, the settings, and events. Then we have the narrator who tells the story, and there's a communication barrier between the narrator and the reader. Direct characterizations, as we have learned from vocabulary, is when the narrator explicitly describes a character. An example is in the sentence below, it says, Tom struggled in school but tried hard. It's explicitly telling you that Tom struggled. Pam was lazy but learned really quickly. Again, it is explicitly telling you that Pam is lazy. Indirect characterization is when the character traits are revealed through their actions. Example 1, Jesse left the pizza box on the floor. We can imply that Jeff is lazy and he's irresponsible. Tim spent all his time with Here we can imply that Tim is helpful, he's considerate, and he's very respectful to his elders. Let's practice. Example 1. Read the passage and determine if it has a direct or indirect characterization. Then write the direct or direct character trait and explain your answer. Mrs. Owens was teaching a lesson in history class on the Great Depression. Michelle let out a loud yarn and put her hands under her chin. Mrs. Owens asked Michelle if she was okay, and Michelle said yes. So we want to look at the type of characterization, and we want to look at why we feel like these character traits are what they are. Solution. So we're looking at indirect character because the action implies Michelle's feelings. And the character traits is that Michelle is tired or bored. An explanation is Michelle yawned, which showed that she's tired, and she put her hands under her chin, which means she may be bored. Here's example 2. Read the passage and determine if it has a direct or indirect characterization. Then write the direct or direct character trait and explain your answer. John missed 3 days of science class because he had the flu. He explains his situation to his classmate, Matt. When John asked for Matt's notes, Matt said, "Man, I can't help everybody." Now we want to look at the type of characterization of Matt and explain why. Solution. Well, we know that this is a direct characterization because the narrator Matt clearly states his position. And his character trait is that he's rude, uncaring, and unhelpful. Well, how do we know this? Notice because John asked Matt for something reasonable. Instead of being politely, he